Hello, this is Sonja from My Happy Space. Welcome back at my channel. Today is an exciting day again for me because I am releasing my new printables in my Etsy shop. I'm going to try to do my best to do one sort of release a month. And this month I'm very excited because this is the end result of what I've designed. I've decided to design my faith journal. I don't know if you followed me for a while, you know I'm very fond of junk journaling. That's probably one of my other passions. And I was just thinking of how can I incorporate junk journaling into faith. And I have my scripted journal where I do my scriptures and things like that, which I love. But then I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to have a faith journal with prompts? It's very specific prompts which you can do to leave as a legacy for a family member or just for yourself, or even can give as a present to somebody that they can do this prompt so you can learn a little bit more about their faith and their faith journey, and then keep it as an heirloom or a keepsake, or just give it to them as a present. I think it would be a wonderful present to give to somebody. So this is the junk journal I made. I just wanted to make it beforehand to see how it turns out. What we're going to do is I'm going to go through all the printables with you, and then at the end of when I go through it, we're going to put another junk journal together for you to see how it needs to be done and how it can be done. Obviously there's various ways you can do it. I'll talk a little bit about the various ways. Yeah, so this is the end result. I'm very happy with it. I've made even little tassels there at the back. I don't know if you can see. So we can try to attempt to put some more tassels in the one we're going to make. And yeah, this is the junk journal. So first I'm going to go through the printables, and then we can quickly go through what I've done here. I obviously haven't finished it totally because as I work through this junk journal or my faith journal, I want to add some ephemera. I don't want to have everything perfectly done already. So let's put this aside for the moment. So first of all, I made a prompt list, and the other side I've made a cover. So if you want to use that as a cover, you're welcome. Otherwise you can use anything else. And the prompt list includes, what I'm going to also do is I'm going to have a free printable just for a A4 size prompt list. So if you don't want to buy the bundle and you just want to do the prompt list, you're welcome to do that. I wanted to sort of make up that as a possibility. So the prompt list is things like document your testimony and how you become a child of God. Write your favorite psalm or a portion of it. Make an entry about your favorite female woman in the Bible and why you admire her. What is your favorite life verse? If you can have coffee and tea with any Christian from history, who would it be? Who is the person that spurs you on and encourages you the most in your faith walk? What fruit of the Spirit do you struggle with? Document the spiritual goal. Write a letter to your child to encourage him in their faith. What else? Document a photo of something that makes you happy. So this is more or less what the prompt list entails. So this is the prompt list. So if you want to get the free printable, you can do that. If you want to fold it up and put it in your junk journal, if this writing is a bit too small, that's fine. You can do that also. So this is the front cover of the first page. Then I have this 1 to 20 for the prompt list. So if you do prompt number 1, you can use that little oval shape. If you do prompt number 13, you can do that, or you can just do your own thing. It doesn't really matter. And then just for fun, I've made a little bit of stamps because no junk journal is complete with stamps. And I made some tickets because, as I said, yeah, junk journal is also not complete with our tickets. My junk journaling style is not, I won't say it's very grungy and vintage, although I really do appreciate it. And Phoenix, I love what Barbara from 49 Flies are doing, but I'm a more pretty pink blue, you know how I am. So this is more my style. So that's how I designed it. So that's a second page. Then I made some ephemera like postcards, journaling tags, just normal tags, just a little title and a small little ticket there at the bottom. So this is yeah, just a normal ephemera, one of the ephemera pages. And this is the flowers. Love how that flowers turns out, with different sort of roses. As I said half time, I don't actually know even what these flowers are, But yeah, this is the flower sheet which you can cut out. And then I've designed some doilies, a different style of doilies what goes with the colors. This is also part of the ephemera sheet. So I think also junk journaling and doilies goes hand in hand. So this is sort of the color palette or scheme if you want to just have a quick version of that. And then I designed some butterflies because I thought that's cute. Butterflies is always nice, sort of more sort of, I would say, not vintage, but a bit more sort of folky. And this is more the traditional butterflies. Then I designed some journaling pages, which you can actually do your journaling on. So I divided it in half because obviously you can cut it, obviously also, and just stuck it on pages, or you can fold it like that. So what I'm going to do is, you're going to see later, I'm going to put them back to back. This I printed on fine copy paper. You can do it on cardstock, but I just thought if you're going to put it back to back, it might get a little bit more bulky to bend in the middle. So I'm just going to put them back to back, and then that gives you a sturdiness. So this is your journal pages where you can actually do the prompts on. So this, I've got 2 colors or 2 pages of each color. So this is the first pink one. This is the second pink one. And then I've got this purpley lavender blue. And there's another purple lavender blue. And then I've got this sort of mustardy yellow. Page 1. And page 2. And then I've got designed some pattern papers also. As you can see, this is the small stamps. So this is the first one. This is sort of just the same flowers, which is at the top there. I've made it just very small. I don't know if you can see it. And then I love this little cute flowers with the lavender blue page, the small little flowers. Love this page, one of my favorites. And then the tickets. Made some tickets. Tickets I've designed. And then I've got a doily pattern paper also. And then I've got all the flowers, which is just duplicated on this pattern paper. I love this also. So this is what you get in the bundle. So what we're going to do is, as I said, we're going to make the junk journal now together, so you can see how you can do it, and I will talk about various methods and ways you can do it. And yeah, and then everything will be in my Etsy shop. I will obviously leave details to my Etsy shop down below. So if you want to pick it up, it'd be wonderful. And yeah, thanks again for everybody who supported me last month. I was really so encouraged by your support. So I really hope you enjoy this. I hope you will find it useful for yourself or for somebody as a present to do it, and put it together and give it to as a present to your mom or your daughter or your grandma. Somebody who might not be into junk journaling or faith journaling, but this is easy for them. There's prompts, and yeah, all the ephemera can make they can make it nice and easy for them. So yeah, let's put this junk journal together. Okay, before we're going to put this together, I just quickly want to show you 2 examples of how you can also do it. First of all, you can deconstruct a book, and you can take an old book and you can tear some papers in between out. I will link a video which I've done it below, so you can see how I've done it. This is my length study for 2021, and that's how I did it. So basically you can do that. You can just downsize my printables, and you can just cut it out and then stuck it on the page according to the size of the page. That is one option you can do. That's a very nice one. What I've done is I just took the book and I covered it with material and I decorated it. So this is one way to do it. The next way to do it is to take a book, an old book, totally gut it, and then just do exactly what we're going to do. I make 2 holes at the top, put your elastic bands through and make your signatures and slide it in. So this is what we're going to do, but we're just going to make our own cover. I'm not going to use a book. I couldn't find a book more or less which is the same size, but that is also another option to do. So I think I've got a video also to do something like that. So if I can find the video, I'll link it also down below. But today, as I said, we're going to make our own one. So what I have here is just thick cardstock. It's actually probably too thicker than we need, but that's just what I had. So I've just cut it in 3 pieces. Now if you want to screenshot now to see what the sizes is, because that works perfectly if you just print it the normal size. As you see, it will fit in. I put more or less where I'm going to put my holes, so it fit in perfectly underneath the holes. It's not going to be too big. Obviously, then you just need to keep everything this size and not make it bigger. You can go smaller. So it is 9 by 6.5 inches and 22.5 times 16 centimeters. And that is 9.2 inches and 22.5 by 5.3 centimeters. I mean, you can make it 5 centimeters. It's just the exact measurements. So yeah, that's what you're going to do. And then I'm going to show you how to use. I'm going to use this for the outside. So basically, if you put it on here, more or less, obviously with some edges around it. Let me just move it into frame, to shot, there. And you take the other piece, and what we can do is put double-sided tape on it. I would say just overlap it a little bit, maybe a half an inch, more or less. Obviously, I will do it properly later. And then you put your spine there in the middle with a little bit of a gap between there. And then you can put that. Let me just move out that a little bit. So what you need to do is you need to play around with how far it needs to be, so you can fit these two things properly in here. You need to move up a little bit more. But what you need to do is maybe move that a little bit, maybe half an inch or quarter of an inch rather. And then you just put it there so it can fit nicely in there. That's the least effort you're going to have wrapping this up if you just join these two papers. Obviously, if you want to use it a 12 by 12 piece of paper, you're welcome to do that also. But unfortunately, I didn't have two 12 by 12s, which is exactly the same, because you will need two 12 by 12s because it doesn't fit 100% on there either. So I think this is quite an easy way to do it, or you can wrap it with material or whatever you want. So this is how we're going to do it. So yeah, okay, let's put this together. Okay, you're just going to see me basically doing what I've explained to you now. So I'm just putting these two papers together, and I'm going to I think I'm going to use a half an inch of double-sided tape. I'm not very good with inches and things like that. We work in centimeters here in South Africa, but it looks to me like half an inch, could be a quarter of an inch, but it's one of the thinner double-sided tapes, just to secure it. And as you can see, I didn't 100% put it correctly together, but it doesn't matter when you're actually folding it up and you folding the papers up, you can't see it. So I'm going to cut the excess paper there at the top, just leaving half an inch at either side. And as you can see, I am doing that method of just cutting around the corners. Make sure you don't cut too close to it. For one of them, I did cut actually a bit too close to it. So you can actually make sure you fold and you can be able to cover that corner. So now I'm just gently taking the paper up. You can take your score tool and just help you to fold that paper up if you want. And I'm also just using double-sided tape. You can use any glue. I don't know, I just tend to use double-sided tape when it comes to things like that, unless I need a moment of measuring it and putting it together. Then I prefer liquid glue sometimes. So I'm just folding it up, and as you can see, I cut through the double-sided tape there just at the hinges, just to make sure that it's a bit easier to fold up. So now you just gently fold it up. Obviously, I'm doing it fast forward, so it doesn't look like I'm doing it gently, but I did it. So now I'm just using some of my other pattern papers, and I've just cut it also to size, and I'm just basically going to go overlap it also. But before I can do that, I nearly forgot actually to do that, is if you want to put a ribbon for a closer, now it's a time to do it. You can obviously do it afterwards, but then you will have the edges showing. But this is such a beautiful ribbon, and I was wanting to put them on the spine also. So I was thinking I'm not going to use all the ribbon at the places where you can't see it. So that is why I cut it off, and I'm just doing it sort of on either sides. I'm just securing it with double-sided tape also. And then when I put my papers on top, it will be nice and secure. If I can give you a tip, do this papers with liquid glue. It's just much more smoother, and it helps you fold over the page much easier. Okay, this is where I got to. I've put the hole punch, the holes in there. Just make sure you make sure that you punch it at the top or sort of at the edge, so your papers can fit inside the rings or the holes, but also not too close to the edge. And obviously I've made a pocket, as you can see. Now I'm just going to put the cover on. The cover is on the either side or the other side of the prompt list, but obviously you can use whatever cover you want. If you want to put a photo of yourself on there or anything else, that's fine also. I just wanted to provide the cover if people wants to use the cover. I decided to use that blue, beautiful, purpley lavender blue paper, which is absolutely my favorite paper of this, which I've designed. Put it underneath because it needs to pop up. And then I'm deciding where am I going to use this beautiful lace, but I didn't like it on the side, so I decided to put it at the bottom. And yeah, I was so happy. I picked up this lace at the little shop I discovered the other day, material shop, and I've got so many pretty little lace and buttons and things like that. So I'm always very happy when I discover a new little shop where you can buy all these pretty things. I really like how it looks down there. The colors looks perfect with the 5 journal, and I'm just using my liquid glue. This liquid glue you can use for felts and things like that. I probably will not use it for full on material if I want to cover something, but for something like that I think it should be fine. Luckily the glue dries very quickly, so when it seeps through it's fine. It dries clear also. So I'm just securing it with a clamp there just to make sure it holds. And now I'm putting my prompt list inside. As I said, you can print out the A4 size and just put it in a pocket if you want to do that, but I decided to put it in the inside. Okay, let's talk signatures, what I'm going to put in there. So obviously what I've done already is I've put these pages together. I'll just make them a little bit neater where I didn't put them totally on top of each other. So that obviously I printed out that there's 3 of them in each signature. I'm going to make 2 signatures, so we can do 10 prompts in the one signature and 10 prompts in the other signature. And then I've got my pattern papers, which I will fold in half. So I've got a few of them. And then I've just got general junk journaling stuff, which I'm going to fill it with. Like for instance this, hymnals. Got this pretty cards, which I thought maybe we can also use. This is a piece of a calendar, sort of. I just thought that was also pretty. We might use it. It goes well together with the colors. Some envelopes. Love this envelope. More envelopes. And here's another one. And then I've got some more hymnals. See which ones I'm using. Then I've got this sort of embroidery patterns of an old vintage book, so I might use some of this. Probably not this tracing paper, but sort of some of these pictures. So this, for instance, I love, so I can use some of that. Just got this old sort of also song book, or actually scripture book, which I can use. Another cross stitch book. Might not use this one. I'll see. Sometimes I like these black and white cross stitch things. Like for instance, this is quite nice. I might use this. Then I've got just a plastic, or not a plastic bag, one of these little bags which I can fold over and use. More hymnals. I'll see which one works the best. Just normal pages. And then I've got this beautiful, this is a sort of a area in Cape Town, Rondebosch Common. It's an old book with beautiful pictures in, drawings of flowers. I'm definitely going to use that also. And then this book is also sort of embroidery and needlework. I love the patterns and things like that. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose some of them, and then I'm going to put the 2 signatures together, and then we'll have a quick flip through. Okay, I had lots of fun putting the signatures together, and I'll show you in a minute. But now I'm just going to use this elastic just to do my signatures. I love this sliding in and sliding out method of junk journaling because it gives you flexibility. If you want to change pages, you can do. If you want to take the page out, to work on. You can do it. If your journal gets too bulky, you can take some of the pages out. This elastic is probably thicker than I wanted, but unfortunately at the moment here in South Africa, it's so difficult to get elastic bands because everybody's using it for masks. So, and the white just didn't work for me. And unfortunately, I couldn't get thinner than that. At one stage, I thought, I think it actually is a bit too bulky. But then when I cut off the excess of these elastic bands, it worked a little bit better. And as I said, if it bothers me, I can always just take it out, work flat on the surface, and then put it back. But it's I don't think it's a big deal. Okay, so this is the signature. This is just the pattern papers. I've just put some hymnals on it, so it's not so white. This is the journaling pages. Just an old book page, pattern paper. Put some hymnal in it. That beautiful common book, the paperback. Pattern paper which I just cut in a circle. I put some sort of pattern paper out of my stash. I think this is Maggie Holmes. I'm not 100% sure. Journaling page, hymnal, sort of a prayer little book. Journaling page. This is a doily, which is part of the ephemera, which I just blown up. I made it bigger, and I put some book pages in it. Some of that journaling page again. Hymnal, journaling page. That's part of that round circle again with the pattern paper. Little bag. This. And this is just a white piece which I've just stuck that embroidery on. Okay. In this journaling space. And then I've also put a hymnal at the back so it's not so white. So this is the first signature. Second one, pattern paper. I've made a little edge with my sort of a puncher. And I've just covered also with some pattern paper out of my stash. Journaling page, a little pink bag, prayer book. That's that card which I talked about. That's nature book. This is sort of a journaling card there. Journaling page. That beautiful book. Another pattern paper which I've done the corners. Journaling page. And then I've just blown another doily up, and I put actually some wallpaper which I have, which I bought once, vintage wallpaper. Beautiful. And I've just put that on there. It doesn't work perfectly. I think it's a bit stiff, but I'm sure you can do at the end something with it. And then I've just also put some pattern paper which I had in my stash there, not to make it so white. I think I'm going to put something there. I don't like that whiteness there. Maybe I can do that. I think that's what I'm going to do. Well, I'll just put it here. I'll do it later. And the book page, journaling page, that journaling card, that nature book, part of the card, which is pretty. I might put something there also later. The little bag, journaling page, and at the back. Okay, now I want to make a little envelope or decorate a little envelope to put all my little prompts numbers in, because that can easily sort of get lost. So I'm just using a sort of a little envelope which I had in my stash, and I'm just covering it with my pattern paper and one of the flowers. And as I said, now I'm going to try to put all my little sort of oval prompt numbers in there, but I first wanted to put a little stamp on there because no envelope is completed without a stamp. And I decided that little flower needs a little washi tape there at the bottom. So I love how that turns out. So yeah, I recommend you to put your ephemera together so it's all ready and it's not lost, and you can just grab the journal, and if you feel like doing a prompt, it's all there ready to do. And I'm just securing it with a paper clip. And then I've got the butterflies and the flowers I also want to put in the envelope. So I'm just grabbing this brown envelope, and yet again I'm just using some leftover pattern paper, and I'm just using an old book just to make a small little collage. I just thought it needed a little bit more vintage, and I've just that one bit I just going to tear off because it's too much white space, or space where there's no writing on, and I'm just putting my butterflies in there, and I've put my flowers also in there, and I'm securing it also with a paper clip, and I'm just going to pop it in that pocket. That's where it's handy to have pockets and things like that. So now I need something else for my ephemera, and I've sort of wanted to build this pocket where you could put various things in. I know you get a die cut like that also, but this is an easy way to doing it. Just cut 3 or 4 strips of paper, which is the same as your back, and just put a hole punch, or not a hole punch, punch a half crescent in there, and then I'm just building it on top of there, and just glue it on as you do with any normal pocket. And now I'm putting all my doilies there at the back, and the tags and the postcards and the journaling cards. So it's also nice and easy. The moment I want to journal something, I can just grab it. I'm going to secure that just in one of my pages. I'm not going to stuck it in just with a paper clip or a clamp rather. So I'm just deciding to put the postcards there at the back because they're the biggest. I love how this little display looks. It's always nice to have a little display in your journal. It makes you want to work. So yeah, I've done that now, and now I'm just going to show you how I'm going to put the beads together. So yeah, I've done already 1 or 2. I've just got some beads, some buttons. That's even a paper clip heart. So basically, I've just securing it through the 2 loops at the top, and now I'm basically just sliding through the beads, making a knot. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but that's just the way I do it. There's quite a lot of tutorials how to do it, but at this stage it was late at night. I wanted to finish the video, so I didn't even bother to go and look how to do it. I just did it my own way, so I'm sure there's better ways to do it. But as I said, I'm just putting everything I had in my stash leftovers. I'm just putting it through a loop, secure it as you say, and then at the end I'm just going to cut all the edges of the long tassels. I'm just using string. You can use wool or anything else. I don't actually know what is the best to use. Yeah, just wool. I used wool previously, but wool to me is not strong enough. It doesn't hang sort of strong down. So I think this twine works better for me. It doesn't knot so much also when you let it hang, and it's more straight when it hangs. Okay, at last it's done. So this is the sort of the beads at the back. I'm not the expert 100% how to do it, but I like how it turns and I like the noise. And as I said, this is the final junk journal or faith journal, and I'm looking forward to work in it. Yeah, and as I said, all the details for the journaling for the bundle is down below in my Etsy shop, so if you want to pick it up, I'd really appreciate it. Or it'd be fun for me to see how you guys do it, or the prompts. I'll definitely journal in it in the months to come, so the weeks to come, and I'm looking forward to it. And I hope it's an heirloom I can pass on to my children, or just hopefully, yeah, and I can give it even for somebody as a present. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. If you like this video, please like, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I'd really appreciate it, and you must have a fantastic weekend. Bye bye.